All right, we're here at Retro Fitness. It is Sunday. George is back in town, so here we are. And who did I run into? None other than one of my favorite ex-training partners. I'm trying to make him a current training partner, Carl Magee. And so I haven't actually seen Carl for a while. Talked to him here and there. But we knew I was going to pull you up and try to get you on video.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I hear you got some things going on, but...
Well, you know, before we talk anything, folks, I got to give a shout out here to Jimmy Vest. Like you said, we go back a number of years, and you're training really hard for competition back in the day. And Jimmy started an organization called Guerrilla with a Cause. Guerrilla with a Cause, and what it is, it's an organization of bodybuilders, powerlifters, martial artists, athletes that feed people, they clothe people, they take care of the homeless, and they all do it on their dime. So hey, shout out.
Lots of cops and military.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, shout out.
Those guys, lots of those guys, huge supporters of ours. Yeah. And likewise, we're huge supporters of theirs. So the sheriff's race, that's the last thing we did a video here, last time you were here, we trained together, we were talking about the sheriff's race. And you were a shoo-in. And everybody was pulling for you, but most of the viewers here, they can't vote. Yeah. They couldn't get involved. But those who could, we got positive feedback, man. They were supporting you. What the hell happened?
Yeah. Well, you know, we first off, I was humbled and just amazed at the support that we got through that sheriff's race. We won the primary pretty easily. We went into the general. Everyone thought, you know, we had it, but, you know, I mean, anything can happen in an election. But even in the final analysis, we still garnered close to 120,000 votes. And, I mean, that, you know, we did good. But
significant, for sure.
Yeah, we made a lot of friends. We ran a clean campaign. And it was just a fantastic experience.
So you learned from it. It was a positive experience.
Oh yeah.
Of course, it would be a lot more positive had he won. But you know. Yeah. So I was looking on your website actually, and I'm going to call you out on some of the things that I saw in there. So now, what are you getting ready to do? You're running again?
Yeah, we decided to throw our hat in the ring for Congress, Maryland District 2. And we're on the Republican ticket. There's, you know, some other folks running with us, and what I would tell you is everyone that I'm running against, you know, they're all good people, you know, and we all have the same ideas, the same message to get across. You know, there's going to be no negativity, you know, at least on my part, with the folks I'm running against. Some of them are friends, and you know, the voter has to just pick who they feel is going to do the best job for them. But yeah, we're running for Congress, Maryland District 2.
Well, everybody knows you're a Second Amendment guy. You're a former law enforcement guy. You're very successful, very well liked in the community you serve, which was a tough community. You know, it was a tough community in the city. So. I'm sure you're familiar with these red flag laws.
Oh my goodness.
Or this red flag bill or whatever. Can you explain that?
Yeah. Well, I'm totally against the red flag bill because it eliminates due process for us as citizens. You know, if you've ever dealt with anyone who had anything, you know, bad to say about you, they could go to the police and say they're afraid of Jimmy Vest, and Jimmy has a gun, and I'm afraid for my life. Well, under the red flag bill, the police can come to your house and take your property without due process. It goes totally against our Constitution, and I'm against it. It should be repealed.
It's all, well, obviously. What about the high taxes? You're here in Maryland, right? Maryland's got a tax problem, don't they?
Yeah, look,
you know, taxes in Maryland. What's the story there?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago that there was a poll taken from Maryland residents. And the poll was, if you could leave Maryland, would you? And more than 50% of the people polled said, yeah, they would leave Maryland. And one of the biggest reasons was the tax problem. Or the tax, and we are. Especially, you know, there's some things that stick in your mind. one of the problems I see, and if you look at it from a standpoint of common sense, if you look at property taxes, let's look at property taxes. You work your whole life, you make money, you're taxed on the money that you make. You get to the point where you can buy a house. You are then taxed on your property that you bought with the money that you made that you were already taxed on.
Right.
From a standpoint of common sense, how does that fit? You know, so we need some tax relief there, and especially for senior citizens. I think senior citizens should be tax exempt. You know, and again, you have to get a coalition together to study it, but we're taxed to death. It has to be.
And it never ends, right?
It never ends.
You buy the property, you think you own the property, but if you don't pay taxes on the property,
the government can come in and take your house.
even when you get old,
Yeah.
how are you supposed to? You don't have a fighting chance. You're kind of
Exactly.
just borrowing it because
Exactly.
you're paying full nut for it.
Right.
You know, another hot item, of course, we got to talk about is immigration. And everybody should know where you stand on immigration, but just for those who don't, where do you stand on
you
this?
know,
Legal immigration.
Here's the deal. The U.S., we take in over 1 million people here, legally. We take in more than any other country out there. If there's one hot button right now in politics, it is illegal immigration. Number one, you know, you have to secure that border. You've got to secure the border. If you don't, everything else is meaningless. You got to secure the border. You got to stop employers here from hiring illegal aliens. And I did say illegal aliens because that's what they are. You got to take away the carrot that brings them here. And an analogy I use with this whole situation is, imagine if you were out to dinner with your wife. You wait in line at your favorite restaurant. You wait in line for an hour. You get up to the end of the line. The manager's ready to let you in the door. All at once, 50 people come. They jump in line in front of you, and the manager lets them in. Not only does he let them in ahead of you, but he makes you pay their bill. How does that make you feel?
Right.
It's and in real life, it's 1,000 times worse than that because you're dealing with people's lives.
That's a very good analogy.
Yeah.
You know, and another sidebar issue, I guess it's not a sidebar to some people, it's critical, but you have the opposition, what they try to always throw out there is we're putting people in cages and we're separating families. But an American citizen for your whole life, and you come here through the correct channels and you're a citizen. Everybody's equal. If you're a citizen, you're a citizen. And Guerrilla with a cause, I mean, we have people of every color, every background, every creed, so, but they're legal. And I don't know, by the way, one person that's legal and came through the process correctly and found this limited opportunity who will say that they're for illegal immigration. They're not.
None.
They're not. It totally disrespects that they work by the rules and,
Right.
and it's not. But as far as the separation of families, if a citizen commits a crime, which as soon as you come in illegally, you're immediately
committing a crime.
criminal, right? If a citizen commits a crime, they're separated from their family. A lot of times it's for minor offenses with drugs and things. You know, the families are separated, the children don't go to prison with you, right? So,
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm not telling you
that's-
anything,
No,
but-
that's. I mean, you're absolutely right. People get separated from families all the time, and the folks coming across the border, they know that you and I are compassionate people. They know that. That's why they have what they call anchor babies when they come across, because they know we don't want to separate families. But the bottom line is, it costs us. Illegal immigration costs us billions of dollars a year, and it's illegal. So, that border has to be shut down, and we have to get a handle.
right, I feel if I have to obey the laws, I've been here all my life, then everybody has to obey the laws. If I go into another country illegally, what other country can I go?
arrested? Right.
You know? Anyway, so what do you feel are the big hot topics that separate you from other would-be candidates?
Well, I won't say that separate me from other candidates, but what separates me from the ones holding office. And let me back up.
What about terms then?
There has to be term limits when it comes to Congress because they get entrenched and they get to the point where they no longer work for you or I.
Right, it's a lifestyle more than a job.
They work for the party. They don't work for you and I. They work for the party. Term limits would curtail that. And they get to the, politicians get to the point where they don't become accessible to the voter. They're not accessible. When's the last time you were able to talk to one of your congressmen? They'll talk to you every 2 years when election time comes. So they're not accessible. They don't work for the person, for the voter anymore. My promise is that I will be accessible and I will be a voice for the people in our county, in our district.
Well, I'm not a supporter of lifetime professional politicians anyway. I think it's a better idea. If the guy's of a reasonable intellect and he has a good spirit and a good heart and he's conscientious, he's going to be able to. He can sit down. It's not like it's some kind of mysterious thing that no one can comprehend except for a professional politician.
They forget the fact that they work for us.
Yeah.
Really.
And being a regular guy.
They're supposed to be a servant.
Who's lived a real life.
Yeah.
And who has worked for a living.
Yeah.
I think that you would be my choice as probably still a Maryland resident for sure. Sure, absolutely. Was there anything else you think you need to cover here?
The whole idea, we need term limits, number one. We need people in there that are going to give Congress back to the people. And, I believe I will do that. I will give it the college try, and you know how we are when it comes to, and I would give the Congress back to the people. I will defend our Constitution tooth and nail, especially our Second Amendment rights. I've already been endorsed by the Second Amendment Institute in Washington, D.C., and been given an A+ rating for that already. That's only happened a couple times. So my promise is that I will defend our Constitution. I will defend the people of our county and district, and I will be accessible to the people. We need someone in there that's going to work for the people, not for the party.
I think patriotism is a huge thing.
Absolutely.
We lack patriotism.
Absolutely, yeah.
Me, coming from an old school time period, I think it should be treasonous to disrespect the flag. That's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
My opinion. Because you don't have a problem with it. It's supposed to represent us.
Absolutely.
You have a problem with individuals.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to change some of the individuals. That would be my opinion.
Yeah. Some of the big change we have to make is this group, Antifa. Come on. You and I, everyone else, we believe in free speech. We believe in the ability to protest. There's a right way and a wrong way. Once you get to the point where you're using violence, intimidation, you're assaulting people, that's it. That's where it stops.
Yeah, I've seen too many videos
where they're going out, they're assaulting senior
elderly
citizens.
people and stuff.
Yeah, senior citizens.
Like soft targets.
Yeah, so they would never do that to you.
No.
They would never
I've
pick
seen
on
how
you.
that works out too.
It don't work out too well for them.
Yeah.
But they should be, that's one group, they should be designated as a domestic terrorist organization. Anytime you go out and do what they do, and who wear ski masks, come on. It screams they should be designated terrorists.
Right. I've known you for 30 plus years or whatever, in every type of situation, basically just living life together, and you've never deviated from character. You've always been the same guy.
Try to.
In various situations, never anything that I've ever seen that was like, that's not him. Always consistent. I think you're a really good guy, and I love you like a brother, and I have a lot of trust in you and hold you in really high esteem. So I would really love to see you get in there, but I know you personally, so I know what kind of person you are. So people out there watching this, if you're in Maryland, man, this is a real guy. He's a regular guy. He's a real guy. Prior law enforcement, just a good dude, man. So give him a chance. Jesus, what's been going on isn't working, right?
Well, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna fight, man, and I'm gonna try to take that same, and this is gonna hit home with you, that same tenacity that you and I had training together. I'm gonna take that into politics, and I don't think they're gonna be ready for it.
Right, well, they already don't seem to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks.
I can absolutely vouch for this guy, man. He doesn't see color, he doesn't see creed. None of this kind of stuff. You know, everybody is equal. Just like we say here, Guerrilla policy. None are lesser and none are greater. So if you want somebody who's going to represent you, that's what they're there to do, and they're going to do that. It's not like a monarchy, you know, or a kingdom or a ruler. It's actually going to be, you know, a guy that was your neighbor, a guy you used to work out with, a guy that maybe came to your house and settled the dispute that was going on, you know, in an honorable fashion or whatever have you. This is a guy.
And make sure you check out Guerrilla with a show me shirt. Guerrilla with a cause. You got to check that organization out.
And you're charitable. You know, well, she doesn't even put that out there.
Yeah.
Going to the Philippines, feeding people, making sure they have proper schooling,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
supplies and equipment. And,
Yeah. Well, that's not, you know, that's not something that you get bragging rights.
right, just like I don't put up.
You don't put it out there to
handing
feed
people
people.
sandwiches and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to exploit it,
Yeah.
but the guy has done all these things. He does these things. He's
Yeah.
married to a legal immigrant,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
I know the system. I mean, we went through the time, the effort, the money, the aggravation to have my wife come here legally. So I know the system, and I'm very big in the immigrant community. And like you said earlier, the people that came here legally, they take offense to the folks that are jumping the border and coming here and trying to get everything for free. Immigration, again, it's a big hot button, but we have to do it the right way. You have to do it legally, and there's ways to do that. We could get a handle on this tomorrow if we really wanted to, but there's factions of the government that are looking at those illegals as the next voting base. That's what it's about. It's about controlling about voting base. But that's a whole other conversation.
yeah, I mean, we have in Guerrilla with the Cause, we have a lot of brothers and sisters, a lot that are here that were immigrants.
Right.
But they're here legally one way or the other. They're either striving to become a permanent resident and get their citizenship, or they already have achieved that. But our own Joseph, who George has met, who was here, likable guy, an awesome kid, high morals, excellent work ethic. He's here, and he's been busting his ass. They've given him nothing, and he's had a hell of a time staying so far. But he's trying to take up permanent residence, and he's doing everything the right way. Right. And it's difficult, and it's costing him a ton of money.
Oh, it costs money. It costs money.
Yeah, he's working like 2 jobs. So, yeah, that's what we need more of. Work ethic, the things that made our country great.
Right.
And
Right.
I hate it when people say the USA was never great.
Oh, you know what? Let them go to another country and then let them say something.
All
like
the people that want to get in here, they think it's
exactly.
great.
They think it's great. Yeah.
If they don't think it's great, then why are they trying to do it?
People in
Come
Hong
here to
Kong
exploit
right
and
now,
manipulate me.
yeah, people in Hong Kong right now are singing our national anthems. Come on, we are the greatest country on the planet. That's why everyone wants to come here. Our Constitution is what sets us apart. It's going to be my job to defend that Constitution. That's one.
Well, that's awesome, brother. Thank you, man, for taking time to sit down and talk. You just on the fly like that. That's a real guy for you.